accountant by profession, but I practiced for some time, about 7 years, and to a certain point it became so boring, whereby it's a job whereby you work very many hours, and it doesn't reflect the amount of time and money that you get. It doesn't match. So I decided to do something different, and this is the time that I had ventured in actually to cap business, and that was back in 2019. You get clients who are local, expatriates. Of course, expatriates will be cut trips, and the locals will pay cash. The foreigners, they feel like using the public service vehicles in Nairobi is a bit, number one, it's noisy. Number two, it's unsafe, in quotes, but it's very safe. But it depends on which kind of bus or which kind of van you opt to use. But you'll find like foreigners, they feel safe on hailing apps. It doesn't matter which one, but they feel safe using those. But most interesting thing is about when locals, there's a certain class of locals who will board cab at different times of the day. Number one, you'll meet someone like, or you'll meet people like they are three. They'll see how much it costs from Westlands to Nairobi, and maybe, let's say, for example, 300 shillings, and they'll feel like, if it's 300 shillings, then maybe they can cost share and maybe request a cab and move to Nairobi. It's faster and it's easy. Number two, you'll meet a client, they only board a cab or they only request a cab when they have discount. And that's a very interesting part. Number three, you'll meet a client who actually boards a cab only when they have luggage. Those are the most three interesting things about locals. You have to have a driving license, and a legit driving license. And you have to have driven at least 4 years, consistent driving. You have to do what you call an endorsement class. After you do the endorsement, of course, the endorsement, you have to go back to school and pay afresh and do a retraining. You have to take what you call the good conduct or the police clearance certificate, whereby you have to go take your fingerprints to the DCI and make sure that your record is clear, like you are not a criminal. You have to now download the app, maybe Bolt, Uber, or Little Cup, whichever the case that we are talking about. You'll download it, upload those documents, all the documents that you have acquired. After doing the endorsement, you have to look for another driving license that is called a PSV. It's a certificate whereby it shows that you're qualified to become a public service driver. The hailing apps are the people who actually choose the kind of cars they want to board. But it ranges from, it has different categories of vehicles that qualify. For this case, I mean there are different categories on board. Number one, for Uber there is Chap, there is Uber X, and there is XL, and there is what you call Comfort. And this cuts across board. And nowadays they have introduced a category that is called van. And the van is actually the size of the Toyota Noah, and it carries about 8 people. And the Uber X is the size of the 1500cc, like the like of the Toyota Raktis. But for the basic one is actually what you call Chap. Chap actually means like a vehicle that will take you very fast to where you're going. Daihatsu Mira, Suzuki Alto, and the Mazda Caro, the Mazda Demio. Once you buy the car, it's a requirement by the government to make sure that you take it for inspection. It's called annual inspection. The reason as to why they have to do that is to make sure that the cars that they are boarding on the app is actually roadworthy. That's number one. Number two, it's in good shape. As much as you have this car, a rented car for, let's say, for about a year or two, it's the same amount of money you'll use to actually buy a car on loan. So it makes more sense when you have a car of your own. Traffic is one of the most hectic things. It's a nightmare in Nairobi. You'll find that a customer will actually request a hailing app, not because they didn't need the hailing app, but they have a luggage. And when they have a luggage, it's not a small luggage. It's a client. They have requested for a category for 3 people. Then you'll see that those people, they have come like 4. The cost is done for 3 people. When you allow that to happen, you're actually carrying 4 people at a price of 3. So that's a loss. Anytime that you make a mistake in terms of location, it means the price changes. So you find that a client will say, why do I have a difference in price, and the price had told me a different price. So you'll have that kind of confrontation until you get a person who really understands how this thing works. You'll have a back and forth conversation, and sometimes it's very disappointing. It's very not fair to us. When you have a back and forth conversation and you feel it's no longer safe, number one, you are given an option to report. Once you report and maybe the client didn't pay you, there's what we call compensation. And then if you feel like the customer is actually arrogant and maybe they are violent, you're advised maybe to drive to the next police station. Then we have an SOS button. If you need help and you feel like you're not safe wherever you are, you can press that button and someone will come your way to help you. For this SOS, it happens both the client and also the driver. Okay, sometimes work is low, but if the demand is there, it can sustain people, because it's the law of demand and supply. When demand is so high, of course money will be there. So it's a sustainable job. It's a good job, depending on what time you wake up. If you wake up early and you drive for some hours, and let's say for example like 10-12 hours, you can make your money. And fuel is a factor of production for this job. There are cars that are coming electrical, and electric cars, it's a good option, but the problem is that these cars, they cannot move for a long distance. So you find that you have to keep recharging, and that it's a very big inconvenience. It's the attitude that comes with the clients in regards to the drivers, or in relation to the drivers. They think like the drivers are idiots or they are illiterate. It makes us feel demotivated, or it makes us feel like we never achieved what we were supposed to achieve. Most of drivers, a good number, they are well mannered, they are well behaved, they went to school. It's only that getting a job in Nairobi or getting a job in Kenya, sometimes it becomes a little bit difficult. So we find that because of the flexibility of this job, we find that it's easy to join and it's easy to sustain yourselves. I would like to tell our clients, we value them. We are partners in this business, and we cannot do without the other, and we have to respect each other as much as we are doing business. A lot of clients who are in Nairobi, they are not interested with the app. They are interested with the personality of an individual. So you'll find that as much as someone is doing the app work, 70% of the earnings that he wants, he'll earn outside the app, because that's where the money is.